Today on the spot, we get a look at the latest downloads this week on Wii, hit store shelves and see what new releases are coming out, get our skateboard on with a demo of Tony Hawk Ride, give you the best tips for surviving Modern Warfare 2 in our starting block, and close it out with a world-exclusive demo of Jade Dynasty. Look, dudes in line, today on the spot.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Today on the Spot for Tuesday, November 10th, 2009. I'm your host Lark Anderson, joined by Sophia Tong as always.
What do you mean as always? This is only like the second time we've been doing this.
Well, yeah, and?
Yeah, well, and last time I was sitting in that seat.
Yeah, and I think I also thought you were Chris, so, you know, that's neither here nor there though. Alright, so Modern Warfare 2 is the big item of the day, but why don't we send it over to the news desk to see if there's anything else going on. Tor, take it away.
Hey everyone, it's your GameSpot news update for Tuesday, November 10th. I'm Tor Thorson. If you worked at EA on Friday, there's a 1 in 6 chance you had a pink slip waiting for you on Monday. Yesterday, the mega publisher announced that it was laying off 1,500 employees, some 17% of its workforce. Particularly hard hit was Warhammer Online developer Mythic Entertainment, which reportedly saw over a third of its staff let go. EA also sent out some ominous signals that its days of taking risk on new IP may be over. EA CEO John Riccitiello said the company will have a greater focus on titles with higher profit margin opportunities. To that end, it is reducing its development pipeline by half and canceling over a dozen games. No titles were mentioned by name, but I wouldn't hold my breath for Mirror's Edge 2. Once the layoffs are complete next March, EA expects to save $100 million per year, which is a good thing since it lost nearly $400 million last quarter. However, that hasn't stopped it from dropping a very large fortune on a questionable investment. The company also announced Monday that it spent $300 million to buy Playfish, the developer of such social networking games as Pet Society, Restaurant City, and Country Story. So let's review. EA is cutting investment in risk-taking titles and doubling down on its most profitable titles and casual games. Looks like the new EA is the old EA. Well, that's it, your GameSpot news update for Tuesday, November 10th. For more headlines like these, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
So there are some other games coming out this week. I honestly don't believe it, but we have a segment to find out what those are. Let's check it out.
There are more than 40 games set for release this week, but one title that stands head and shoulders above the rest. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC, touted by Activision as the biggest entertainment launch ever, will make its long-awaited arrival in stores on Tuesday. Accompanying it on store shelves will be the spin-off Modern Warfare Mobilize on the DS and Modern Warfare Reflex for the Wii, a port of 2007's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Looking beyond Call of Duty, there are still a handful of titles arriving in stores that might interest the traditional gaming crowd. Ubisoft expands on last year's maiden voyage to the mountain with Shaun White snowboarding World Stage on the Wii, which will feature support for the Wii Balance Board. Also, Konami's Pro Evolution Soccer 2010 gets new versions for the Wii, PlayStation 2, and PSP, and Namco Bandai offers Dragon Ball Raging Blast for the Xbox 360 and PS3, which will feature huge destructible environments. For further details on the week's games, visit GameSpot's new releases page. Release dates are based on retailer listings and are subject to change.
As you knew, all kinds of new stuff comes out every week on the Wii Shop channel, and last week they had a pretty good week. There was Fighting Street and some R-Type going on.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what's going on this week.
Yeah.
But I guess we can check the next segment and find out.
This week on Wii Shop channel, 2 new games have been added to WiiWare this week. The publisher's Excitebike franchise sees a new addition in World Rally, a stunt racing game that accommodates up to 4 players for 1,000 Wii points or $10. As for all new properties, Stigman Studios has released Dragon Master Spellcaster for WiiWare, priced at 500 Wii points. The action game has players riding dragons across a story mode, and the game also accommodates competitive play for up to 2. Hudson's latest installment in its strategy action Bomberman franchise leads the DSiWare lineup this week. Available for 500 DSi points, Bomberman Blitz lets up to 8 players compete through the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection to drop bombs, collect power-ups, and drop more bombs. Nintendo's music game Electroplankton sees 5 micro-installments added to the DSi shop, each adding new sounds for 200 DSi points or $2 apiece. Lastly, the Virtual Console is headlined by Sega's Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap, a 500 Wii point or $5 game. First released for the Master System, Wonder Boy 3 is a side-scrolling action platformer and serves as a direct sequel to Wonder Boy in Monster Land. Cybernoid, originally released for the Commodore 64, is also 500 Wii points and sees players blasting their way through space levels as a futuristic spaceship. That's all the time we have. Be sure to check in every Tuesday as we bring you the latest this week on the Wii Shop channel.
All right, coming up next is the first of our 2 daily demos for today. It's Tony Hawk Ride, and I'm not much of a skateboarder myself. I've tried to do it and failed spectacularly. What about you, Sophia? Are you a skateboarder of any sort?
No, I tried once and I almost went into the swimming pool, but I snowboard though. I know
That's
that's
good.
kind of
That's
different.
sort of similar though.
Sure.
So why don't we just go ahead and jump into today's daily demo with Tony Hawk Ride.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily demo for today's episode. Right now, we're going to have a little look at some Tony Hawk Ride. I'm joined by Josh Sway, president of Robo-Moto. Josh, how you doing?
Good, Sean. How about yourself?
Oh, not bad. I'm excited to check out a little Tony Hawk Ride. So let's get it started. Where are you in the game right now?
I am in Chicago in what's called the Loop Plaza, and I'm just, it's our hometown at Robo-Moto, and just thought I'd bring a little hometown love to you guys here.
All right, so before we really explain what's going on in the game, we should probably talk about what the heck you're standing on right here.
Well, I'm standing on this futuristic board peripheral that's made from alien technology that enables me to control Tony Hawk on screen here. And you'll see that I'm just doing simple things like tilting on the board for navigation, popping up, doing ollies and flip tricks. Just about everything you can do on a skateboard you can do on this peripheral.
All right, and how does that work? How do your movements on the board translate into moves in the game?
It all comes down to like the 3 basic mechanics of popping up the board, tilting the board, and rotating the board. And once you combine those 3 with the 4 sensors that are all around here, you can just pull off all kinds of different moves. So if I just want to do an ollie, in real life an ollie is fairly complicated, but in our game it's just popping up the front of the board.
Okay.
If I want to do a nollie, which is the opposite, where I pop up the back of the board, it responds to it.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
And if I want to do a flip trick, I pop up, do a tilt, and I get a nice flip trick. Now you see that I'm in what's called the signature moment. It's kind of like a star powering Guitar Hero, where basically all your moves are replaced by super moves and you get way more points.
So we've got a pretty good idea of how the ground tricks work, but when you're like in a half pipe or in a ramp or something like that, how does that all work?
Yeah, so what we did is that for our half pipe mode, you actually rotate the board to be parallel with the screen, because when you're in a half pipe, you're basically going left and right, and so to keep that one-to-one relationship of the peripheral with the game itself, you basically turn it sideways and you go left and right in the half pipe, and you'll see that you do things like stalls at the top of the half pipe, you do different types of flip tricks, and it all basically works the same way as in Street, but you're just oriented differently.
And as far as grabs and that sort of thing go?
Like that right there.
Just as easy as putting your hand in front of the board?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I just pop up, reach out to a sensor. You don't have to touch the sensor because, not too many people are that flexible.
Right.
So want to kind of accommodate the, quite a few different types of physiques here. So I reach out to the side, got an indie, I reach out in the back in a different grab, and really it just comes down to which sensor you're grabbing towards. That's the part of the board that your character is going to end up hitting.
All right, let's talk about difficulty levels. Obviously, this seems like the type of game that's going to sort of accommodate a lot of different skills on this board. Which difficulty level are you on right here?
Well, right now we're in what's called the casual difficulty setting. And what we wanted to do was make sure that people can get used to playing on the board really quickly and pretty much without even having to look at any instructions. And so in casual, you don't have to worry about navigation. You'll see that I'm following this gold rail here. And basically, navigation isn't an issue. All I have to do is time out my tricks as I go along. And then from there, we also have confident and hardcore. And in hardcore mode, you can pretty much skate wherever you want to go to. You're not on rails anymore, but there's a lot of behind-the-scenes helpers to help you do things like grinding on the bench. You're kind of magnetized towards it. If you're trying to hit an icon, you kind of lean towards it and you kind of get tractor beam, for lack of a better term, towards it and such. And then in hardcore, everything is off. I mean, you're completely on your own, no helpers whatsoever, and it really takes a bit of board time to get used to it. But man, once you get into hardcore mode and get really good at it, it's super rewarding.
And there's right now, I believe you're in the free skate mode, right?
Right now I'm in free skate session. which means that, that's what I get for being fancy there.
Yeah.
In Free Skate, there's no goals, no challenges or anything. It's just a good way of getting used to the level itself. But there's 3 other ways of playing every single level. So you have speed, which is getting from one point to another as fast as possible. Trick, which is in a set amount of time, you basically need to get the highest point possible. And then challenge mode, you're set in different parts of the level and you're tasked out to do very specific challenges as you're going along. And the cool thing is that with all the different levels, you can play in those 4 different ways. And really, if all you do is like speed session, you can play the entire game in just speed session if you wanted to. And it's really just customizable that way.
And you were telling me that the game is really built around, playing as a multiplayer experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like party mode here. Sorry, we're getting fancy with this stuff here.
Don't get too greedy.
I know, that's a line at the studio, not to get greedy. Party mode, it's all about 8 people in a room. They all sign up together, and every session can be played in party mode against each other, and it's just a lot of fun. And that's really the meat and potatoes of the game itself.
All right, Josh, looks good. One quick question I have for you. When is Tony Hawk Ride going to be out, and which platforms will I be able to connect this wirelessly to?
It's November 17th is the release, and it's Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii all coming out at the same time, and it's going to blow people's minds away.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh.
Thank you very much, John.
All right, guys, prepare to have your minds blown on November 17th. Back to the rest of the show.
So as we mentioned earlier, Modern Warfare 2 is out now, and it's pretty much the biggest thing ever, isn't that right, Sophia?
Well, yeah, and the fact that the guys at the office have been playing all day.
Yeah, they've been putting lots of time into that game now, and they've got some good strategies for us, so why don't we just jump into a starting block segment to get you up to speed on Modern Warfare 2.
War is hell, and Modern Warfare 2 makes no effort to conceal this fact, which is why it's crucial that you learn a few battlefield basics before heading out. You should already be familiar with the basics of your weaponry, but here are a few quick tips to improve your odds. First up, you can decrease the impact of your weapon's recoil by crouching, or even better, going prone. This greatly improves your accuracy. In addition, you should look down your weapon's sight almost every time you take a shot, ensuring your bullets land exactly where you intend them to. Using your weapon's sight has the added benefit of auto-targeting any nearby opponents. That is, as long as your crosshair is anywhere near an enemy, your weapon will focus directly on them as soon as you look down the weapon's sights, allowing you to cap them instantly. Try it out when facing several enemies at a time to pop them all quickly, one after another. If you start taking damage, your screen will become increasingly bloody. This means it's time to find cover and fast. Almost anything will work. Low walls, boxes, vehicles. As long as you can put it between you and the enemy, you should be good to go. If you find yourself going up against enemies equipped with riot shields, either cook a grenade and toss it behind them or try and flank them from the sides, as they're nearly impenetrable from the front. Keep in mind that you can grab a fallen soldier's shield and use it yourself, making you practically invincible from the front. Unfortunately, you can't open fire with it equipped, so use it to move from cover point to cover point and swap to your secondary weapon to target your opponents before using it to push deeper in enemy territory. Oh, and you can melee with it too, taking down most enemies including shielded ones with just a hit or two. This, however, does leave you briefly vulnerable. Finally, when exploring Russia's snowy landscapes, we advise keeping your heart monitor out at all times. It functions almost identical to our radar, updating you of the enemy's position every few seconds, which is crucial in this blinding snowstorm. Similarly, because of the snow's natural camouflage effect, the enemies won't be able to spot you unless you get right up in their grill, so keep your distance to avoid arousing suspicion. Even better, if you encounter any isolated soldiers, simply glance their way to tip off to your sniping comrade, who'll take him out for you. What a guy.
We actually have some special guests here to talk about Jade Dynasty, that free-to-play MMO.
That's right, it came out in June now, and they've got a bunch of players now. We've got a world exclusive now for some of the new content coming out this Thursday. So why don't we just take a look at what's coming up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan McDonald here, and I'm standing by with Andrew Brown, who is the product manager working on Jade Dynasty. Is that correct, sir?
That is absolutely correct.
Now, you have brought us a very special sneak peek today. Now, your game, obviously, actually, before I jump into it, I'm assuming that everybody out there already knows about Jade Dynasty. Why don't you give them a little backstory before we jump into this?
So, Jade Dynasty, it's a third title from Perfect World Entertainment. It was released in June, and coming up this week, actually Thursday, we have our new expansion. But Jade Dynasty, real quick, there's these 5 factions in the game, all promising man the path to immortality, the correct path. So this is actually one of our new areas. It's called the Divine Realm, and this is our Ardent faction. To give you a little backstory, so in the previous story, it's these 5 factions, they were all trying to recruit you and say, hey, we can offer you immortality, and they're all trying to show you the right path. As time progressed, man actually found a way to become immortal. Now, the Immortals have seen this, and they're like, well, no, this can't happen. So they actually sent down a legion of demigods, Arden being one of those factions, the other one called the Balo. And they're saying, hey, you guys got to stop the humans from ascending and becoming more powerful than they're supposed to be, so do whatever it takes, and by any means necessary, prevent them.
Excellent. Now, the stuff we're seeing here, now she's part of the new faction that you guys are showing for the first time right now, correct?
Yes, she is, and she's actually flying on one of her owls. And this is the new area, actually the starting area where the Arden and the Bala will start out. It's a beautiful area. It's about twice the size of any of our normal areas. And the Bala are kind of your barbarian warriors, where the Arden are more of like your archer type class.
I gotcha.
So it's they're definitely a huge upgrade from our current factions and a cool new spin.
What is some of that new content that a lot of the fans that have been playing Jade Dynasty, what is it on Thursday that they're going to be dying to get a hold of?
So there's a few unique things that are happening on Thursday. The first one, for the higher level people, there's what we call Ascension. They can finally ascend, starting at level 135. They can ascend and they start back at level 15. You might be asking, why in the world would we want to do that? Well, once you ascend your character, your new character is even more powerful than he was before. To give you a comparison, an ascended level 135 can completely annihilate a regular level 150.
I gotcha. Now, for the folks that are checking us out and looking forward to Thursday, what do you think? What do you think? I mean, do you expect it to go crazy on Thursday? People like.
We do. So, we're expecting a lot of people to not only, with their high-level characters, start ascending, but we're also expecting a huge flood of players trying out these new factions. Because the choice is really theirs. Do they want to be on the human side, or do they want to be on the immortal side? That's what's kind of changed in the whole game now. Before, it was just the humans. They were kind of, a little bad blood between them, but now they have a true enemy. So are the humans going to come together and fight off the immortals, or are the immortals going to overtake the humans?
Now, she's looking like she's going to cause some trouble here. Is she looking for somebody to scrap with?
Oh yeah, she's working on a quest right now where she has to kill some of these flying beetles. And as I said, she's one of the archer classes. Right now she's pretty uber, so she can take them down in one shot.
Nice.
And one of the unique things about this class is it actually has the ability to spawn pets. So there are pets in the game that you can buy from an NPC and you can level them up. But this is one of the unique classes that actually has spells that can cast pets. And these pets will assist you in battle.
And apparently you have Battle Cat in this game, because that's awesome.
They are incredibly powerful. They're definitely worth pursuing.
All right, Mr. Andrew Brown, before we run out of time, any last words for the folks that are, I'm sure, watching in anticipation, and I'm sure already excited because we had premiered the trailer late on Friday for the first time. So any word for the folks that are watching?
All your questions and all of your feedback has been absolutely amazing. And they all have been answered. And come this Thursday, we're excited. It's going to launch. So I definitely urge you to check in and see what's new.
Super cool. Awesome. Andrew
Thank
Brown.
you so much.
Thank you so much. Jade Dynasty. Head over, I guess, to, is it jaydynasty.com?
JD.perfectworld.com, actually.
JD.perfectworld. I'm sorry, say it again one more time?
JD.perfectworld.com.
Fantastic. There's where you go for more information on this and other games. Take it away.
All right, well, that just about wraps up today's show. And as you know, Thanksgiving's coming up. It's almost time for the season of giving. Next Monday, we have a holiday gift guide hitting the site, so be sure to check back then. So for today on the spot, the rest of the crew here, I'm Lark Anderson.
And I'm Sophia Tong.
And thanks for joining us. Be sure to check our next show on Thursday.
We're just warming up.
That's it. It's going to actually help. I hope it doesn't crash.